independent artists, all of our listeners who are listening right now, if you don't already have one, look into getting an entertainment attorney. Do a Google search, try to find one in your area. If you are already somewhat in the industry, ask your artist friends or management friends or anyone that you might know who's in the industry. Ask them for their contacts. Maybe they already have an attorney and that attorney is taking clients. Like, there's ways to find them. They're all over the place. And it's better to be safe than sorry, because if you use an entertainment attorney from a label that's offering you a deal, you will regret that.
I agree. And just real quick, I know we're talking a lot right now. We're talking about independent. We're talking about major labels. We're talking about how labels screw you versus how they help you. We're talking about how being an independent artist can be tough, but it can also be beneficial. So let's dissect more of what it means to be an independent artist on the business aspect of things. Let's talk about publishing. Let's talk about masters. Let's talk about streaming. Let's talk about international buzz. Like, what does that look like? I mean, you're a part of Vitae Records. You're an owner of Vitae Records. Mm-hmm. Shout out Vitae Records, and we will be signing artists soon. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But
get on our radar.
You're an owner of Vitae Records, and you've been an owner of Vitae Records ever since the conception. So it's like, for you as an industry mogul, and I'm gonna put that in the air.
Come on.
For you as an industry mogul, like, what does that look like? What does it look like to be an independent artist, or just be independent in general, in that atmosphere, in the CEO mogul atmosphere? What does a day, a week in the life of that look like?
Well, first and foremost, when I have my artist management hat on, my day-to-day typically revolves around making goals and lists of things that I can do to keep you busy, and trying my best to outline different strategies and different things that I believe can bring you the best exposure and put you in the best light for what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So, for instance, Matt B is going to be putting out an album in March. March 12th is coming. So because of that, my eyes and my sights are laser focused on any and every aspect of your album and how I can attract the most eyes to that project.
And pre-order the album.
Pre-order the album. It's on iTunes right now.
Right, you feel me?
We'll provide a link. Shameless plug.
But let's get back on topic though. So what's that look like? What does it look like?
Essentially, I'll start my week by making those goals, and then I'll try to run down my plans with the artist, being yourself, and then I'll run those plans and basically our vision for what it is we're trying to do, because it's not just about what I want and what it is that I'm seeking for you. It has to be what you want as well. And I think that when you're an independent artist, especially if you're seeking management or some type of representation, it's so important to find someone who really believes in you and wants you to guide them on helping you achieve your goals.
Right.
Because some artist managers and some team members who you might hire or bring on board, it might be a friend, it might be a family member, it might be just somebody who's trying to get their feet wet in the industry. They might approach it in a way where they're taking control of everything and the artist has little to no say so. But that's not how I try to operate. I try to make sure that this is the Matt B train when we're talking about Matt B's work. So it's about taking your visions and bringing those visions to life and putting them in front of the masses structuring that. So
then what visions have come to life? Like, let's elaborate on that. Like, what does it look like to be an independent artist or to be a manager of an independent artist, and how did those visions come to life?
Well, one vision that Matt B said that he wanted was he wanted to be able to tour.
We're going to talk about me in the third person right now, but let's keep going.
He wanted to be able to tour. So back in 2019, prior to COVID and everything else completely obliterating the industry, we sought out a partnership with So Far Sounds, and we were able to plan a 16-date tour. I believe it was 16 dates in 11 or 12 different cities.
All across the country.
We had to map that bad boy out. And it was time consuming and it was extremely exhausting to not only plan the tour, but to market the tour and create all the promo flyers for the tour and keep track of all of the day-to-days and making sure that after each show, motherfuckers was getting paid.
Right. You feel me?
And keeping track of what that looks
Definitely
like.
gonna have to run that check.
So I think,
And I think we had an international or a couple of international dates too, right?
Yep, we had, I believe, 2 or 3 of those. So it was an interesting ride, but it was very important to me to make sure that the tour was structured in a way where not only you got the most coverage across the country and internationally, but also translating that back to social media, so that way the people who were not able to attend this tour, they could still feel like they were a part of it. They could be like, I missed it, I want to catch the next date. And providing that peak of interest, so that way they can step into Matt B's world. So trying to find a way to bring things back in a circle and create a unit of what's going on. Another vision was we wanted to have more of an international reach. So we hired a team out in China because Matt has, I think, 158 million streams in China on NetEase.
Hey, shout out to Asia, man. Y'all be holding me down.
They be
been holding me down since day one.
Man, since day one. And I didn't want to allow that opportunity to just fizzle away. So it was really important for us to attack that angle too, because we're not just about the U.S. There's more than one ways to skin a cat. And
although no cats will be harmed during this podcast. We don't put that. We animal lovers out here. You feel me?
There are more than one ways to approach breaking into the industry.
Right.
And I think a lot of people feel like the U.S. is an end-all be-all, and it's really not. There are so many people who are able to achieve what it is they want to achieve in addition to making money.
Yeah.
Which is, at the end of the day, I feel should be every artist whose independence main goal. Like,
if it don't make money,
it don't make sense.
And in this particular case, if it don't make money, it don't make dollars, because we ain't going for cents.
Man,
you
period.
feel me? Cents don't make sense over this way.